Welcome to That Bigfoot Show, yes, that one, and today we will be discussing one of my favorite films of all time, and one of the reasons why I have a lifelong fascination with Sasquatch. The film is the 1987 classic, Harry and the Hendersons, written and directed by William Deere, from Amblin Entertainment and Universal Pictures. I remember renting this VHS over and over and watching it every time it played on the TV. It's got adventure, comedy, and even some spooky moments. Harry and the Hendersons works so well because of its cast, led by John Lithgow of Cliffhanger, Third Rock from the Sun, and Dexter, as Father George Henderson. You will recognize the mother from Close Encounters of the Third Kind and A Christmas Story, Melinda Dillon, who plays Mother Nancy Henderson. We also have the two children, teenager Sarah and little Ernie Henderson. And of course we have Harry himself, played by the late great gentle giant Kevin Peter Hall, who stood at around 7 foot 3 inches and was boosted up to 8 feet when he put on the Harry suit. Kevin Peter Hall is truly one of the greats. And of course, he took the method approach to playing this creature, staying in character the whole time even when the cameras weren't rolling. This tall, talented fella is also responsible for bringing the Predator to life that same year, and he even appeared on the Harry and the Hendersons sitcom until his death in 1991. There are also some fictional cryptozoologist characters featured in this film, both the good, the bad, and the ugly, I guess. These characters are obviously based on real-life cryptozoologists, as this was pointed out by Lorne Coleman of the International Cryptozoology Museum. He sees personality traits and qualities of Canadian researcher René Dahinden in the character of Jacques Lafleur, and the character of Dr. Wallace Wrightwood is a combination of famous cryptozoologists John Green, Peter Brin, and Dr. Grover Krantz. But the real star of the film is the makeup artist Rick Baker, who won a well-deserved Academy Award for his work on this film.
Rick Baker for Harry and the Hendersons.
And this guy has created some pretty iconic characters in his career, but says that this lovable Squatch is his all-time favorite. It took 3 puppeteers to operate Harry's facial movements through radio control. And the secret to why this makeup works so well, because Rick Baker used Kevin Peter Hall's real eyes. Yep, those are Kevin Peter Hall's real human eyes, which of course brings some humanity to Harry, and a sense of intelligence, and even a soul. The original concept for this Harry fish-out-of-water tale was designed as a sitcom, which it eventually became, but we'll get to that later. But producers loved this squatchy story so much, and saw some major motion picture material in the idea, which was basically just E.T. but with more hair, which I guess is why Amblin Entertainment made it. And you know what? I really miss that cinematic, suburban, Spielbergian vibe that all those old Amblin films used to have. This Amblin cinematic universe, it's the perfect place for Harry. I just want to take this time to say thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Also click that bell to get notifications on future content. Now, back to the show. The way this film was advertised was very unique and interesting. They opted out of showing Harry in the trailers and most of the posters, keeping Harry's image a mystery, which was a very creative and artistic choice, and was very fitting for the spirit of Bigfoot, not showing the creature, saving it for the big reveal when you actually go to the theater and watch the movie, which I actually wish more films would do. Now everything's spoiled in the trailers. But many people claim that hiding Harry from the advertisements was not a wise move and harmed its box office potential. The advertising was so subtle that some people didn't even realize it was a movie about Bigfoot. which is why the title was changed to Bigfoot and the Hendersons in its UK release. And on a $10 million budget, this thing made $29 million domestically and $49 million worldwide, which is not bad for a Bigfoot movie, actually. It's not good either. This masterpiece of modern cinema begins deep in the woods of Washington state, where there are actual real Bigfoot sightings, so it works. We're introduced to a family, the Hendersons. They're on their way home in the Henderson mobile, driving through the wooded road, when suddenly they hit something big and hairy. Is it human? Is it an animal? Is it a Sasquatch? I don't know, let's take it home. So they do. Just like a Griswold Christmas tree, they throw this big old thing on the top of their car, thinking that it's dead, of course. I really like that every member of the Henderson family has a different reaction to this cryptid creature that just entered their lives. The father sees fame and fortune. The mother is worried about their environmental impact. Like, what if he's an endangered species? The teenage girl thinks everything is horrible and annoying because she's a teenage girl. And the little boy thinks everything is crazy cool and awesome because he's a little boy. They take this thing that they think is dead back to their home, but of course it's not dead. And of course this creature causes quite a ruckus in the Henderson household, but through some character development and some smiles, everybody quickly learns to love each other, even the dog. So Harry and the Hendersons, at its core, is a movie about what it means to be civilized, and two different worlds coming together, and can different people get along. But on the surface, it's a fun, family-friendly movie with some hilarious property damage that of course has a heart. Even though the family loves this creature, they know that it cannot stay here. So they try to get Harry back to his home, but that doesn't really work out and he gets lost on the streets of Seattle. This causes Seattle to go even crazier than usual, and Bigfoot hysteria takes over the town. You got the police, you got armed vigilantes, a bad guy cryptozoologist, and a hairy monster running around the city. For a little bit, this thing feels like a John Carpenter movie, actually. But Harry eventually finds his way back to the Hendersons, and everything is all good and fun and happy. Like he's their own big teddy bear kind of thing, which they actually did make. Plus, they actually sold a glow-in-the-dark art series and some Harry trading cards. For some reason. The Hendersons befriend a good guy cryptozoologist, and together they all try to get Harry back to his home. But, you know, there's a car chase and an epic battle in the woods with bad guy cryptozoologist. It's actually kind of action-packed and more intense than it needs to be. But through the power of love and understanding, Harry is able to make this bad guy cryptozoologist a good guy cryptozoologist. Then, as Harry takes his final look at his adopted human family, he walks off into the woods as a whole clan of Squatch pop out of nowhere, joining Harry as he goes off and lives happily ever after, as Joe Cocker sings his way through the closing credits. The end.
The average American family just got bigger. Harry and the Hendersons.
And after watching this a couple of times, I noticed that the character of Harry has layers. His character traits and motivations are actually more thought out than I originally had thought. Everything that Harry does is because he learned or saw a human do it. Like in order to calm the puppy down, he learned to pet it. Then you see him trying to calm the bad guy cryptozoologist down, so he pets it on the head. Another example is when good guy cryptozoologist comes over for dinner and brings the family flowers as a gift and an apology. You then see Harry bring teenage daughter flowers. There's even a subtle little moment that you hear on the news that Harry, after scaring a woman, causing her to pass out, placed her on the roof of a car. Because Harry thinks that's what humans do when somebody gets knocked out, because that's what the Hendersons did to him. So yeah, one of the best parts of this film is watching Harry grow and learn. It's like a really good movie, you guys. And there's truly a heartbreaking moment when Harry doesn't understand the danger he's in and doesn't want to leave the family. With the bad guy just around the corner, George Henderson has to resort to fake anger to scare Harry away to safety. And it is absolutely the most heartbreaking moment of the film. This could have easily been a cringy, cheesy, overacted mess. But in the hands of John Lithgow, it's practically Shakespearean.
Leave us alone!
They never did make a sequel to Harry and the Hendersons, but the franchise still kept going. In 1991, there was a television sitcom series, and it takes place in an alternate universe, a Harryverse, in which Harry stays with the Hendersons. And according to the laugh track, hilarious sitcom shenanigans ensue. A lot of people compare it to Alf. This thing somehow managed to survive 3 seasons, which we all know is kinda funny, because a sitcom was the original concept for this Harry and the Hendersons idea. And it was huge in Germany for some reason. I guess Harry has that David Hasselhoff appeal to him. Big, hairy, mysterious guy. In the early 90s, Harry was actually a character at Universal Studios, and you could take photos and hug him. And he even had his own attraction, the Harry and the Hendersons Sound Effects Show, allowing guests to help bring the sitcom to life with some hands-on Foley fun. Harry even stops by and he has some horrible nipples. What the... Maybe it's just nostalgia blinding me. It definitely is. But Harry and the Hendersons is such a great film. It's a kind of cult classic that wonderfully balances the themes of what it means to be civilized and the complex relationship between man and nature. Harry and the Hendersons is truly a gem of a Bigfoot movie. It's so much more than just another Sasquatch film. And this thing is so much more than just vegan propaganda. It's fun. It has heart. It has soul. It has a spirit. It doesn't take itself too serious, but it still has the power to make you cry. The power to make you laugh, but most of all, the power to make you believe. Maybe not in Bigfoot, but at least believe in friendship and that different types of people can get along, I guess, you know. Peace on Earth is a kind of theme in this movie. And there were actually 2 Bigfoot movies released in 1987, by the way. And we all have to admit that good Bigfoot movies are few and far between, which makes this film even more special. It exists in a genre that is more often doomed to fail. And no, Harry and the Hendersons will not be remembered as a box office or critical success, but we will always remember the way it made us feel. Opening up that VHS or Blu-ray really opened our minds to the unknown, to the adventure of life. And just like the cave paintings or the ancient stories of the Yeti, this was Hollywood's modern way of keeping the legend of Bigfoot alive. So yeah, this has been That Bigfoot Show. Yes, that one. Thank you so much for watching. And if you or someone you know has had some sort of Bigfoot encounter, please let us know. We'd love to hear about it. Comment your comments in the comments. Also, let us know what your favorite Bigfoot movie is, or what your least favorite Bigfoot movie is. So yeah, thanks again for watching That Bigfoot Show. Yeah, that one.